Greetings, everyone. Welcome. It's Kimberly Sherry, International Energy Healer, helping you lead a life of wealth without worry. Today, I wanted to talk about transitions. It seems like so many people going through huge transitions right now in their life. Transitions can be, big, or little. So I want to talk more about how you can stay balanced during really big transitions. Some people have a huge transition when they have a baby. Hey, Karen. And even Andrea, good to see you. Even no matter how much you think you might be prepared to have a baby, it's completely different than anything you could ever imagine. But you won't know that until you actually experience it. It's that way with a lot of transitions. So whether it's divorce, whether it's getting a new job, whether it's losing a job, maybe right now I have a lot of clients who are in the process of moving. And so this is one of the things that happens as we grow and expand, is that we outgrow like the places that we live. And so oftentimes we just feel this impulse to move, or it may seem like all of a sudden our landlord gives us a 30-day notice. But if you've been paying attention, it wasn't as sudden as you think. There's always signs ahead of time. And so this is part of the preparation I'm going to talk about in a minute. So moving can be a huge transition. And a couple other like I know since I travel a lot, that's always a transition. No matter what place I go to, you have to readjust to new energies, new culture, new actual energy in the ground. Hey, Bess, Adriana. And so, that can be a good way of practicing how to handle transitions. I know that traveling has really helped me to prepare for all kinds of transitions. Hey, Eve. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. So I use travel as an opportunity to help me to adjust to new environments, new places. Everything is new, because usually when I travel, I go to places I've never been before. And that takes a huge amount of adjusting. And so thus I need all my tools. Hey, Beth. I need all my tools to be able to prepare and adjust to these transitions. So that's probably the number one thing in dealing with transitions, is to use the tools that I teach, to use the tool of getting grounded. Each place that you move to, whether you're traveling, whether you're moving to a new house, make sure that you're really, really ultra grounded. Those 3 parts to getting grounded, and making sure that all your energy is clear. Basically the whole system that I use to keep your energy clear. I'm gonna at the end post a link to the chapter in my book that gives you 3 ways. Hey, Constance, gives you 3 really practical tools that you can use immediately to help you adjust to all kinds of things. But we're talking about transitions today. So use those tools to, thank you, Eve. Use those tools to help you move through these transitions. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was how fast you move through a transition. So, some people like to do things kind of slow and take their time. They're the people, hey, Kitwana, they're the people that, when you go swimming, they put their toe in the water and they gradually get in. And then you have other people who are just like jump right into the water and it's over and done with. And so, if you sort of stand back and you think, well, which is easier? Doing things fast is generally a much easier way of doing things. And then once you've jumped in the water, you think, wow, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Hey, Elizabeth. So, moving through transition, you can decide how fast or how slow you want to go. The main thing is to listen to your body. Now, I tend to go through things quickly. I don't want things to linger on, if at all possible. But, as always listen to your body. Hey, Jeannie, always listen to your body so that you know what you need. Like when I was helping my mother with the ultimate transition, dying. Hey, Lori. I had to listen to my body, and I knew that I could only be with her so long in this final transition. And I could not stay to the end. I really had to listen to that and know that that was best for me. And there were other family members who could, and my brother actually did stay with her through the entire process. So, the main thing is to listen. Hey, Libby. The main thing is to listen to what you need, what your body needs as you're moving through these transitions. So taking care of yourself, taking time out to take care of yourself, go run your energy, clear your energy field, remove people who might be courting to you. And those all affect how you're gonna move through a transition. So most important, making sure your energy is clear. Another thing that really has helped me in a lot of transitions is to be decisive. I noticed that really helped, especially in this transition with my mom. Now, after she passed, now we're in the cleanup process, and we're going through 30 years of accumulation. Was 94. But she had lived in the place where she was for 30 years. So that's a lot of stuff. She had a hard time getting rid of stuff. And so super important to be decisive and just take action. If we were to sit there and go through it would take forever. And so, with a lot of transitions, moving is another one, is sometimes you just have to decide, like, I really need to move out of here. You can feel that pull. I need a different change. I've outgrown this place. Well, and so you can let that linger on for months or years, or you can be decisive and you can go and make some decisions and move through the transition much more quickly. So I think for a lot of people, we stay in this transition phase longer than we need to. Maybe we know we've outgrown a partnership. I mean, it's just obvious. And we tend to hang on to these things a little longer than we need to. But if we can start becoming decisive and make decisions and taking action, we're going to move through these transitions much quicker. So, it's inevitable. We are all going to go through transitions. And it seems like right now, everybody is going through huge transitions. It's just the energy on the planet right now is really supporting really big transitions. So whatever your transition looks like, whether you're ending a relationship, whether you're starting a relationship, whether you're moving, whatever your transition is to, one, make sure you really listen to your body. Two, make sure you're doing as best you can to clear your energy field, and review this chapter that I'm going to post, and so that you practice those 3 techniques in there to help clear your energy field. And be decisive, so you don't have to drag your transitions out forever and ever. We can move through these things much faster with ease and grace. Sometimes transitions get layered too. Like you might be going through one transition, and when I think about my mom, I was helping her transition for a long time. Like I would say this past year has been pretty intense of helping her move through her transition. I always knew that I was going to be the one to help her transition out of her body, or maybe I just wanted to be the one that helped her to do that. But at any rate, when I was in Peru more than a year ago, and I was doing a ceremony with toad medicine, toad, T-O-A-D, I had this massive healing that was involved with my mother. I was releasing her fears. So she used to cord to me all the time in my root chakra. And this was a journey where I just released massive amounts of fear. But I didn't know it was her fear until the day after the ceremony, and I realized she wasn't courted to me anymore. And I actually thought she died. So it was then that I actually started my grieving. I grieved then. I thought she was dead. And then, one of my friends said, well, why don't you call her? And, that was the last thought on my mind, because we had been estranged because of our religion. She wasn't talking to me anymore. And so I thought, well, yeah, why don't I just call her? So I called her, and she was obviously still alive, and so we got a chance to talk, and she was wondering when I was coming back. She wanted to connect with me. And so, I started helping her with her transition more than a year ago. And so, in the weeks before she left, and I'm going to share a few things that I don't think, I don't know of anybody else that's doing this as far as energy work, but helping people transition out of their body and after they've left their body. So let me just back up a minute here. So before I get onto that. So, I've been helping my mom with her transition, especially in this last month, where I was helping her release a lot of her fears. She had a big fear of dying. Which was a surprise to me, because she had this Jehovah's Witness faith, and you're welcome, Kitwana. She had this Jehovah's Witness faith, but she was not prepared to die. She thought she was going to live forever. For the last 63 years, that's been her belief, that Armageddon was going to come and destroy all the wicked, and she would just go right into paradise. And transform the earth into a paradise. So she wasn't prepared to die. So she had this really big fear of dying. So I helped her transition through that, helping her release a lot of those fears and fears in general. She also had a lot of shame around her deteriorating body. She was not prepared to see herself, in that condition. She was 94 and was just really, really struggling. So there are things that can be done to help loved ones transition out of their body in a much easier way. When we were in the hospital, I witnessed the man across the hall who did not have one person come to visit him. And you could just tell by his face that he was in a lot of fear, and it was horrible to watch. That was one of the reasons why I couldn't watch my mom, but she never ever ended up quite like that. But there's ways that you can help loved ones transition out of their bodies by helping them release a lot of their karmic debts and a lot of their energies that are holding them back and maybe holding them in their bodies. So there's ways of doing that. And also, after a person has transitioned out of their body, like I helped her actually energetically and her spirit leave her body before the body actually quit. Hey, Joan. There's one thing that I discovered I had the ability to do, and I discovered this about a year ago. I had a friend who had a close person die in a tragic car accident. They had been drinking and they died. And so I sort of checked where this person was. Like if you have a neutral zero plane, and then maybe a minus would be unresolved karma or things that they would carry on into a next lifetime. So that's kind of at the minus. And then the plus is how far up and out of their body and maybe into other dimensions that they've gone into and accessed. So this first person that was in the car accident, she was like at a -5. Now, I didn't know what these numbers meant. Hey, Wendy, I was just noticing what I noticed. So she was at a number 5, and I did a little energy work, noticed why she was at this number 5. She had a lot of shame around having died the way she did. Anyway, I helped her come into the plus zone. I also did this with another woman. She was actually a client who stopped working with me, and she bumped up against some energy she just couldn't clear. So she ended up getting lung cancer. She had a lot of unresolved heart stuff. And initially she didn't want me to do anything, so I didn't. I kind of left her alone. But eventually when I came back from my travels, I checked in to see how she was doing. She was still at the minus, and she allowed me to bring her up a little bit into the plus zone. She's at a plus 10 now. So it's kind of an interesting thing that I can do. I don't know, it's just kind of funny. But I did the same thing with my mom. And of course, since it's my mom, I want her to have the best. And so I helped her transition all the way up and out to infinity. And there's a layer where you can access these higher dimensional energies. It's the energy of oneness. And it's in the 40th layer of your aura. So that's where I connect with my mom. And she's around, at least for the time being. And it's been really nice to see how joyful she looks when I see her in my mind's eye. She's just very happy. She's young. She's always dressed beautifully, lots of jewels, and it's really kind of interesting. But at any rate, transitions. So whatever transition you're going through, make sure that you take care of yourself. If you need help moving through your transition, like you just know you've come up against some blocks that you just can't move through, private message me, and we can talk about what that would look like to help you move through that stuff. So I guess that's it. This is my Friday's inspiration. I wanted to help you to move through transitions because so many people are going through really big transitions. So I hope you use this weekend to take care of yourself and to enjoy the weekend. It's always a time when I take time off to kind of just regenerate before I move back into the week. So, I've gotten a little distracted with my mom and all her stuff, so I've gotten away from writing my book. But this week, I'm going to get back into that and get back on track. So transitions, enjoy yours. Stay grounded, use your tools, listen to your body, and wishing you much success through your transitions. And read my chapter if you haven't. I'll post a link. Sending you much love. Keep asking my favorite question. How does it get any better than this? And then stay in that blissful question of, I wonder. Sending much love, friends. Namaste.